Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the semi-finals of the DUBAI Sevens. This first one, Ireland versus the USA. The winner of this will go on to the final to face up against New Zealand or South Africa. That will be determined in only about 23 minutes time. But for now, the USA, they're on a good streak up against the Irish. 4 out of the last 5 times these two sides have played, it has been the USA victorious. Looking through at their starting lineup, it will be Steve Thomasine, Joe Schroeder, David Still, Perry Baker, Kevon Williams, Marcus Tupula, and also Lucas Lecamp. A very similar lineup to what we saw when they were able to get their win over Samoa throughout the group stage of the competition. Looking at Ireland's starting lineup, Harry McNulty, Aaron O'Sullivan, Zach Ward, Sean Cribben, Jordan Conroy, Mark Roach, and Niall Comerford. So it's interesting. They're going to have Lennox coming off the bench, same with Andrew Smith. It's going to be straight away. I'm noticing Terry Kennedy's not there. I believe that is due to injury, if I am correct, because not having him in this game, if he was match fit, would be extremely surprising. But the two sides now making their way out of the tunnel at the Sevens Stadium in Dubai. It's looking like a beautiful afternoon there. Ireland, they had their draw with Spain in their first matchup. Then they won against Uganda, lost to France 7 points to 14, and then won against Argentina in their quarterfinal fixture. Then USA, they're on a 4-match winning streak, one of the only sides, I believe, of this competition who have not lost a game. In fact, I think they're the only side because New Zealand have lost, South Africa have lost, and Ireland have lost. So, yeah, USA, the only undefeated side in the Dubai Sevens so far. Can they go all the way? That is a big question we are about to find out. But they've got a strong bench with Brozell, also Esdale there. I'm about to sneeze, which is worse timing that we could have had because the match is about to start between Argentina and the Irish. But we are going to be covering the game between South Africa and New Zealand in just a short moment. It's supposed to kick off at 11:40. A couple of the games have run a little bit later than anticipated, but I believe this game is on time. And now Thomasine will be kicking us off for this one. Ireland looking to claim this one with McNulty. He's done well. He wrestled almost down by David Still, who gave up the tackle a little bit too easy, but now he's got the big drive on him. And a little bit of a counter ruck. He's off his feet, though, so the penalty does end up going the way of the Irish. Straight away, Mark Roach looking like he's willing to put this ball into touch. Ireland normally pretty methodical when it comes to their final playoff games. We've seen that in the past in leagues. They like to go for the lineouts, go for the scrums, keep that ball alive a little bit. But for now, so early on in the match, you just want to test out your set piece and make sure that it is on the right track. Now, it's going to be Roach. He hesitated. You cannot hesitate when you are going for the line. He did the pump fake, and because of it, now means that it is going to be a USA free kick. So the question of whether or not the Irish set piece was working coherently, I guess, is no, just for now, but they were looking to improve. They are chasing their 11th cup final in history for the USA here. So David Still, Perry Baker, Kevon Williams, they've got talent for days, the USA. They just need to get it right for the 14 minutes here of the semi-final. Saying that Ireland, they were a side that a year ago did not look like they were getting too far in the sevens department in terms of their rankings, in terms of the results. But in the last year, they've come extremely far. Another good run from the number 14, Tupula. Now going off to the short side, Kevon Williams, bit of space available, gives it off to Perry Baker, who has to run sideways because a great tackle has been made on him by Zach Ward. Ball bounces out onto the side of the Irish. Now looking to attack Sean Cribben, back across to the right, Mark Roach. There's one more, McNulty. Out wide, what can they do with this one? Zach Ward tries to step through the tackle, and he's taken down well by Tupula. Back across to the left, and Kiwi Lad at Wimbledon Samoa in Australia place says Tautala. Unfortunately, due to the fact that would be the 7th place playoff game, those two sides actually don't play, which is a big shame. I thought that the way that it's set up, they were going to have a game, but no, they actually don't have any more games now, Samoa or Australia, in their upcoming matches. That's going to be a penalty to Ireland. A little bit of a high tackle there. And also go the USA says Index, and also we've got there, let's go Boston Celtics, says Nate. Mark Roach already having a very prominent role throughout the sevens competition and now continues to drive. I think David's still got him a bit high there. He's round the shoulder. Scrum feed now for the Irish. The Irish scrum just taking a little bit longer to end up getting set there. I'm wondering whether or not they are feeling a little bit tired after the back-to-back matches. Like I mentioned, with Dubai, you don't really get a break. You've got about 3 hours in between games. So Australia 7th and Samoa 8th. Or I believe they both count as 8th place, if I'm not wrong. Or one of them, I think they either both count as 7th or both count as 8th. Just because they haven't actually played each other to determine who is higher. So I think they draw in terms of whatever place they end up giving them. So they probably both draw as 8th place. Nice run up the middle for Zach Ward. And he has been able to get the first try now for the Irish, which is not what Reckless wants to hear because he's got a bet on the USA. And American Samoan supporter for the USA Sevens Index. And okay, there's Tautala and there as well. But yeah, it is unfortunate that we don't get to see another game from the Samoans. Although from that last performance up against France at times, it did seem like they just weren't quite that same Samoan side as they were at the start of the sevens. But it's going to be a great try from Zach Ward for the Irish. They'll take the lead now. Probably a good time to do it too. They are going to have the time off. Is that for a sub? No, it's not. He's going to be all right, whoever it was that they were checking on. Kick's gone over. Oh, no, his knee is actually, his knee's not looking too flash. He's trying to pop it back in. That's no fun. Zach Ward gets the thumbs up from the medic, and he's going to be all right to continue Zach Ward. The last thing you want to do is hurt yourself in a try celebration or diving over the line because that can normally end badly. But luckily for him, because he only put the ball down nicely, he didn't do too much damage to himself. Go down 7. Samoa will win next week. There's Tautala. Yeah, hopefully they do end up going relatively far. That's a big knock on from Lucas Lecamp. Now Ireland once again have this ball. You say, I love, so he knows it's always live. And there also says Index. So I believe that's your dad, isn't it, Index? If I'm not wrong, that's going to be a big shot from Lecamp on his opposite number there, Comerford. Going back across to the left now, the Irish, they've had more of the possession early on in this game, and they are certainly looking determined to get over the try line. Now off to O'Sullivan. That's Aaron. A little bit of pressure there on the breakdown from Thomas. Then counter ruck. Schroeder gets the penalty for a side for hanging on in the breakdown. And also, we have to think, what do you think of Lucas Lecamp so far in Dubai? There's RJ. He's been a mixed bag a little bit. Like in this game so far, we haven't really seen his best side because he has just had that knock on and also hasn't really made too many tackles. But when he gets space, still one of the most dangerous players for the USA. Like as soon as he feels like he's got that room to accelerate, normally gone against the camp. But had a good game up against, which game did we cover? It was the game that we covered on the channel, and he had a very good game, that one. Must have been USA Samoa, I believe, that he had quite a good game. And now let's go Notre Dame fighting Irish, says Nate there. Now it is going to be thrown in. Nicely taken. Lucas Lecamp passes it off. Kevon Williams trying to go through. Good tackle made by the Irish. The defence has also come a long way in that 12 months. All off to the short side. That's going to be a knockdown. Is it a yellow card? No, it's just a penalty. And let's go USA. Says Index there. All right, they might consider a line-out option here, the USA, the women's side. For the US, I should mention, actually only won their game 5 points to 0. So, of course, USA need a few more points than 5. They do want to go on, get themselves that victory. In 14 minutes, it will be New Zealand versus South Africa, the other semi-final match. And USA wasn't supposed to win to Samoa. Says Tautala. Yeah, they weren't. And because of it, it meant that rather than the Samoans having, I believe they would have ended up playing up against the USA. No, sorry. They would have ended up playing, was it up against Australia they would have had? No. Maybe. I'm not too sure who they would have been playing rather than South Africa. I think it would have been Australia if Samoa had beaten the USA, but a nice step there from Jack Kelly. Almost, the ball's ripped away. Schroeder now goes off to Williams. Numbers on the outside here. Lucas Lecam, mentioned him before when he gets that space almost through. Gary Baker has to join the breakdown, just wasn't able to get that ball away. Kevon Williams goes one more to Schroeder. David still got plenty of speed as well, holding the ball in one hand, tries to slap it down. It's gone forward. Now it's going to be the end of the half. It'll be 7-0 at the moment, and gold equal gold, minus oils, minus dollars. Or gold, oils, and dollars. There you go. Let's go Ireland, says Nate. And as well, they're playing some very casual music for halftime of the semi-final. I'm sure both sides wanted a bit of AC/DC, something big just to get them extra fired up, and instead they've got some very nice light beats. At the moment, there was a knock-on, and also the ref was so rip-off, says Tautala. Yeah, that last knock-on was unfortunate up against the Samoans in that contest, and I believe penalty count was about 7-0 in favour of the USA. I should also mention, though, 7-0 in this game between Ireland and the USA. They have really not allowed the USA to attack as much as they would like. They've only made the 10 passes. They haven't visited the opposition 22 yet. They've had 6 carries in the process and just the 1 error for the United States, whereas Ireland, they've had 2 visits to the opposition 22, 11 carries, an extra 5 passes completed, 19 in there as well. At the moment, and the USA captain, oh, sorry, not the captain, the coach, I should say. And let's go USA. There's 99 in there, and also go USA. There's Index, and there as well. I think his name's, is it Mike England, the USA coach? He's fired up, though. Kevon Williams now has the task of trying to fire up his team, try and go out there in the second half and get themselves a monumental win over. Okay. Kevon Williams, his short little moment was, we're going to persevere. We can get through it. I have to wait and see whether that is the case. But like they are showing 12 minutes away from New Zealand versus South Africa. Winner of that game will go on to face the winner of this one, which looks like at the moment Ireland have had all of that territory. The USA can change that around in the second half. They might have a bit more of a chance of making their way through. We have got Emmett in the chat. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well currently. These two sides, very similar ranks in the 7 system. 7 for Ireland, 6 for the USA. Roach about to kick this one off for the Irish. He's fired up, isn't he? I think he just yelled at his teammate to get one out on the wing. Wonder whether or not he's going to be trying to find him. But also we get the USA. Index in there. It's going to go high up in the air. Straight down the middle of the park. Nicely taken by Williams for the USA. Wrestled down by McNulty. Thomas Seen now looking off to the left. Nicely to Tapaola. Done very well. Perry Baker, the veteran of the game. If there's anyone who can score USA and try to get them back in the game, it is certainly that man with the speed that he is. Down the wing, let's go, says Index. Now it's going back across again. Nice step. They're Irish, though. He'll be trying to rip him into touch. It's actually the replacement, Andrew Smith, one of the players who came off the bench at halftime for the Irish side, I should say. Now Perry Baker, bit more space opening up. Wasn't able to find the opponent. Ireland getting in there. No, they've said penalty. No clear release from Harry McNulty. He's going, was I even the man who made the tackle, referee? Now the USA, they decide they want to take the scrum. Samoa won to the USA, who have gone to Australia and beaten Australia, and then meeting Ireland and then New Zealand, and then win. And then your prediction was right, says Tautala. So yeah, I was a wee way off with my prediction in the end, unfortunately. But then in that video of my preview, I did also laugh after saying that they would win. And I said, I've probably jinxed them and they'll finish 8th now or somewhere around there. And they actually did. So unfortunately, that part of my prediction was correct, just not the part of them winning the whole thing. And come on, Ireland. So here's Gregor Galway there. Kevon Williams putting the ball in now. Going off to the short side. There's going to be an advantage, and they're going back for the penalty. Legally coming in through the side. Like they're saying, you can't drive upwards in the scrum. You've got to drive straight. Although, the thing is, there's a few of those ones in the scrums that can easily be I guess, 50-50 in terms of what they decide to call that one. They have decided to say that it is a penalty up against the Irish, but can easily end up going the other way. It's going to be kicked into touch. Also, so it was all your fault. Yeah, I'll claim that one, I guess you could say. And also, we've got the LMFAO, yeah. So I called it in all the wrong ways. I called their first game that they won it by 21 points. They did, but I also called that they wouldn't finish too high. It was almost a cover for myself, so that if I got it wrong, I wasn't a mile off, but I actually got the second part of it, the part I didn't want to get right, more right. Currently, USA fighting hard in the breakdown. Keep that ball on their side. Go on short side, Schroeder. Now one more out wide. Brazil coming off the bench recently, 25 metres out from the line. Now the USA, a low-scoring contest between these two sides. The ball's out for Cape Town Sevens, not quite, but I believe it's going to be. Oh, here goes Perry Baker. We'll come back to that in a moment. But Perry Baker, I mentioned if there was anyone to score the try to get them back into the contest, it would be that man, and Perry Baker scores the tries. But yeah, the pools aren't out for Cape Town yet. But I believe after all of the games of this Sevens competition, we will know pretty quickly who are going to be in each pool. So hopefully we have some good ones setting up for the Cape Town Sevens. An undercover profit, says 99 Foki there. Right, an important kick for the USA. 25 metres out to kick it over. It's over. That's going to make it 7-all between these two sides. And also your good brother, and also the USA says Index in there as well. But currently all-time try scorers, he's tied with Tim Mickelson, who has taken himself out of that New Zealand Sevens side recently, which means if Perry Baker gets another, he will then be third overall, not even tied with another. But Dan Norton, he's a mile ahead of everyone else. Okay, the referee just asking if the players are ready. I believe they are just about to get back underway. It is the USA will be kicking off this one towards the Irish. And who says 99? Ball's gone high. Nicely taken by McNulty again. He gets back up to his feet. Tries to wrestle for a couple extra meters, unable to do so. Now, back across. Jordan Conroy. Going forward quite nicely there. Has to work hard in the breakdown there. Roach to keep it on the side. McNulty now goes back again. Ducking under a challenge there for the Irish. McNulty one-on-one down the wing with Schroeder. Probably two of the biggest players out there on the park. USA all day. There's Index there now, Ireland. Going back across. Inside of their own 22. I got a long way to go now. Another big run. This time it is going to be Jack Kelly. Goes off to Jordan Conroy, who was a bit quiet in the first up and now starts to find his stride. Oh, that was a big clean out on Schroeder. Roach went for the risky offload penalty to Ireland. Roach there was actually complaining to the referee for giving a penalty to the Irish. Interesting. And can we scrap 3-point penalties and 3-point field goals? Just make it 2 points to encourage more attacking rugby. What's your thoughts? Says Larkham. I mean, it's a tricky one because no matter what I think about it, I don't think they're going to change it, if that makes sense, because with it being World Rugby in the Northern Hemisphere, as soon as you pitch that to them, like as a Southern Hemisphere supporter, a lot of people would say, yep, go for it. But because it's a Northern Hemisphere mainly rugby board, straight away they're going to go, no. Because our game plan normally is to take the 3. So why would we want to risk that, and only get 2 points for it as well, if that makes sense? So I think because of the people being in the Northern Hemisphere, I don't think they'd do it, but it would be interesting to see maybe a certain competition try it out, see if it works, and then from there continue forward. But Ireland, 1 minute 20 left on the clock. And see your Cape Town Sevens Irish says, Tala, we will see you later on, mate. That's not a bad idea, says 99. Now it's going to be Ireland. They're looking for the mark here. 1 minute 10 left on the clock. Both of these sides, it's a low-scoring affair between them. Okay, I think I heard McNulty say, I'll tap it. They're looking for another attack here for the Irish. We go now, let's go. McNulty takes the quick tap, passes across the Roach. This might be the last attack of the day that we get to see for the Irish, so they've got to make the absolute most of it. And Hugo and Lennox may have just blown it. No, it is going to be the penalty against Kevon Williams. They consider taking a quick one. I don't think they'll go for the line out from, I don't think they'll go for the kick to the post. Okay, they don't know where they're going, Ireland. Kevon Williams asking for the penalty. They're going for the line out. I think Ireland just couldn't quite decide what the plan was there. Kevon Williams, he was closely looking at that watch. Yeah, like England. Not happy with that one. And now Roach, another chance. Come on, brothers. USA says Index. That's the full-time siren we have just heard. We may see a game going to Golden Point, which would delay the other semi-final from taking place. It's slapped back. It's into touch. We're going to extra time. Oh, that's not what we want. We wanted to get that game between New Zealand and South Africa underway at the right time, but we're going to have to change that live stream now because both of these sides are going to have to go to extra time. Kevon Williams, I think he's furious. We'll go there. We will go there. There we go. We have had to delay that one a little bit further. They've got to do a coin toss now, and then the two sides will be back into the action. So we go to Golden Point. What that means is pretty much first point wins. They're going to be staying the same way, which I believe will mean that they are actually looking into the sun here, Ireland. So an interesting choice, but they just decided it's the easier way rather than having to switch it around. And I was like, yes, there's Index there. So yeah, we are going to extra time in this matchup. South Africa versus New Zealand. They are going to have to wait just a little bit longer before that game takes place. But both of these sides want to be the side walking away with the victory here to get to that final spot. Some deep breaths being taken here. I believe that is actually Ben Brazil. Looks like he's about to pass out from the heat, and he only came off the bench. Come on, USA says Index. Yeah, it's certainly hot in Dubai. In fact, we're going to do a quick Google. What is the temperature in Dubai? 25 degrees, but it's that extra bit of humidity and the fact that it just feels even hotter than that. These guys have been playing every few hours in the DUBAI Sevens as well, so that wouldn't have helped it in terms of trying to keep cool. Right. It's now going to be Ireland who received the kickoff because they decided on where they were going to be. Okay. Kevon Williams was asking for a penalty still for that prior one that happened in regular time and let it place his Index. Come on, USA. As well, right. Going to be kicked off by Steve Thomas. Seen, ladies and gentlemen, the extra time in the DUBAI Sevens semi-final underway. There's a spot on the final on the line. Nicely taken there by McNulty. Tries to drive his legs hard. Goes back across there to the left-hand side, now to the right island. Thought about going for the kick in behind, pinning the ears back. They've got the advantage as well. Nice run from Smith. Okay. Advantage is over, but now I believe they're about to have a new one. Yes, it is. Another advantage for the Irish. They'll go back for the penalty, and that is for the offside. USA just seems like those penalties are adding up here, and this will make the coach extremely frustrated. The fact that these players just aren't able to stay back those 10 meters could make all of the difference to the result of this contest, as Ireland now will be able to work their way just a little bit further down the field. Big steps forward, and he boots it downfield. There's no one back there. The ball has gone dead. Wait a minute. It went past, says the Irish referee. Well, sorry, not the Irish referee, but says the referee. So, because of that, Ireland, they lose about 60 to 70 meters from that kick, and now the USA are going to have themselves the attack from way back where it was kicked from. Okay. Scrum feed for the USA. 40 meters out now from the Irish line. USA, they've only made the final a total of 11 times throughout all of their sevens career. And you think about that for a second, the fact that Perry Baker has got over 200 tries, but he's only been in 11 of the sevens finals. Now, going to be fed in by Kevin Williams. Going off the back here. Wide cutout pass. Hasn't found the hands at all. And now it's going to be the number 14 once again. Tapola. They're going in there and they managed to get themselves a turnover. In fact, it was Isdale. We had to wait for that one. Right. Ireland once again are going to have themselves the penalty. They will now look for the touchline. 7 of the 10 penalties have been from the Irish. And also we have got there a little bit spammy. I think it only seems maybe spammy because no one else is in the chat overall. So it does look like it's just back to back to back. It's not too bad at the moment. Oh, there's a second ball on the field. So they're going to have to get rid of that one. But yeah, they've had to delay South Africa, New Zealand, Gareth, which is just slightly unfortunate. I think a lot of people looking forward to seeing that game. But they have to wait just a little bit longer. Stolen there by the USA. Now 2.5 minutes left. Here's Dale. Finds the offload now. Lucas LeCamp taken down low by, it was the number 13. I believe he also came off the bench. Brian Mullen over the top. Good catch from USA now down the wing. Trying to find their way through. Brazil finds his offload. Gives it to Aaron Cummings. Sides. Looks like there's going to be another more. It's almost the first half done of extra time. And come on, the USA. There's 99. They're going back across. The lovely commentary says index now. USA inside of the 22. Perry Baker, one of the roughest passes I think I've ever seen from him. And I thought the women's game in Japan versus Canada is playing, isn't it? There's Ronald. I think it was supposed to be. In fact, it might actually be taking place at the moment, but they haven't transferred over to that because of the overlaps. I guess it will be being played on field 2 and forward. There's Nate there. Will Milani play next week? I don't believe so. I think his injury is a little bit more serious than just 1 week. And I was like, why are you not getting payments? Says Index. And there. I guess because we haven't been hired by Sky or anyone along those lines. But that's all right. I feel like we do this at random hours in the night because we love it, not because we want to get paid. Easiest way of describing it, but currently 22 meters out. Ireland with a chance here. Roach puts the ball in. They go short side. Roach is through and Roach scores it. And Ireland will go through to the final now to face off against the South Africans or the New Zealanders. And they have been able to get it right at the end of the first half of extra time. But nonetheless, we will now be transferring over to our next live stream, ladies and gentlemen. The Irish able to win this one and golden point time. 12 points to 7. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in the next